In 1917, in the frozen trenches of France, soldiers discovered something that would save thousands of lives. Not a weapon, not medicine, a candle. A candle that burned for 48 hours straight, made from nothing but garbage and animal fat. They called it the trench candle. Some called it the Hindenburg candle. And for 4 brutal years, it kept men alive in conditions that should have killed them. It gave them light when darkness meant death. It gave them heat when hypothermia was taking men faster than bullets. It gave them the ability to cook food, warm frozen hands, and dry soaking wet boots. All from recipes so simple, so cheap, that anyone could make them with trash from the kitchen. Today, I am going to teach you 11 forgotten candle recipes. Recipes that use stuff you already have in your kitchen. Bacon grease, butter, crayons, orange peels, even cheese wax. Each one can save your life when the power goes out. No batteries required, no electricity needed. Just knowledge that our great-grandfathers knew, and we have forgotten. Let us bring it back. Number 1. The Hindenburg. Let us start with the original, the classic trench candle, also known as the Hindenburg candle. This is the one that started it all in World War I. Here is what you need. A tin can. Any size works. Tuna can for 8 to 12 hours burn time. Soup can for 24 to 48 hours. Coffee can for several days. You also need corrugated cardboard, the thick stuff with wavy ridges inside. Amazon boxes are perfect. And finally, you need fat or wax. Any kind works: Crisco, lard, bacon grease, candle stubs, even crayons. Here is how to make it. Cut your cardboard into strips the same height as your can. Roll the strips tightly into a spiral. Keep rolling and adding strips until the roll fits snugly inside your tin can. The wavy, corrugated edges should face up. Now melt your fat or wax using a double boiler. Never melt fat directly over flame. Pour the melted fat slowly over the cardboard. Let it soak into all the channels. The fat should come just below the top of the cardboard. Let it cool and solidify. To light it, either light the cardboard edges directly or add a small, twisted paper wick in the center. The result is incredible. A tuna can size burns 8 to 12 hours. A soup can burns 24 to 48 hours. A coffee can burns for days. You get light, heat, and you can even cook on top of it. All from garbage. Here is a secret the soldiers discovered. Add 1 tablespoon of salt per cup of fat. The salt slows combustion and extends burn time by 25%. Number 2. Buddy burner. Recipe number 2 is the buddy burner. This one comes from the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. It is basically a mini trench candle designed specifically for cooking. Here is what you need: a tuna can or cat food can, corrugated cardboard, and paraffin wax, old candle stubs or crayons. The process is almost identical to the trench candle. Cut cardboard strips the same height as your can. Roll them into a tight spiral inside the can. Melt your wax and pour it over the cardboard. Let it solidify. The difference is how you use it. The buddy burner is designed to be a cooking stove. You light it, then place a larger can with ventilation holes over it. Put your pot or pan on top of the larger can. Now you have a compact cooking stove. A buddy burner burns for about 1.5 to 2 hours. That is enough to cook multiple meals. When it burns out, just add more wax and reuse it. The same cardboard core can be reused many times. Here is a tip. Make several buddy burners in advance and store them. They last forever. When you need emergency cooking ability, you are ready. Number 3. Tallow candle. Recipe number 3 is the tallow candle. This is the oldest candle recipe in human history. People have been making candles from beef fat for thousands of years. Tallow is rendered beef fat. You can get beef fat for free from local butchers. Most butchers throw it away. Just ask, and they will give you pounds of it for nothing. To render tallow, cut the beef fat into small cubes. Place it in a slow cooker or pot with half a cup of water. Cook on low for 6 to 8 hours. The fat will melt and separate from the solid bits, called cracklings. Strain through cheesecloth into clean jars. Let it cool. It will turn white and solid like Crisco. Now to make the candle. You need mason jars and cotton wicks with metal bases. Glue the wick base to the bottom of the jar. Wrap the top of the wick around a pencil laid across the jar mouth to keep it centered. Melt your tallow using a double boiler. Let it cool slightly. Pour it into the jar around the wick. Let it solidify completely. Trim the wick to 1/4 inch. A pint-sized tallow candle burns for 40 to 50 hours. And here is the amazing part. Tallow candles stored in sealed jars last for years without going rancid. I have stored them for over a year with no problems. The burn rate is 4 to 5 hours per ounce. That is as good as or better than commercial candles. And the cost is nearly zero if you get the fat for free. Number 4. Lard candle. Recipe number 4 is the lard candle. This is the same concept as tallow, but using pork fat instead of beef fat. Lard is rendered pork fat. You can buy it at most grocery stores or render it yourself from pork fat trimmings. The rendering process is identical to tallow. Cut the fat into cubes, cook on low heat for several hours, strain, and let it solidify. The candle making process is also identical. Mason jar, cotton wick, pour in the melted lard, let it solidify. There is one difference. Lard is softer than tallow. In warm weather, a pure lard candle might get too soft and not hold its shape well. The solution is to mix lard with 10 to 20% beeswax. This creates a harder candle that holds up better in heat. A lard candle burns for about 30 to 40 hours per 8 ounces, slightly less than tallow, but still excellent. And if you raise pigs or buy pork with fat on it, the fuel is essentially free. Number 5. Bacon grease candle. Recipe number 5 is the bacon grease candle. This is my favorite because the fuel is completely free. You are literally turning garbage into survival supplies. Every time you cook bacon, you pour off the grease, right? Most people throw it away. Stop doing that. Start saving it in a jar. That grease is free candle fuel. Here is the process. Collect bacon grease in a jar over time. When you have enough, you need to purify it slightly. Put the grease in a pot and simmer on low heat until it stops steaming. This drives out the water. Water in your candle fuel causes sputtering and uneven burning. Now pour the purified bacon grease into a small jar or tin can. Add a cotton wick. Let it solidify, light it. A bacon grease candle burns for about 2 to 4 hours per tablespoon of grease. The flame is steady and the heat output is good. And here is a bonus. It smells like bacon. Some people love that. Some people do not. But in a survival situation, you will not care. The key is to start saving bacon grease now. Every time you cook bacon, add to your jar. Over months, you will accumulate a significant amount of free fuel. Number 6. Butter candle. Recipe number 6 is the butter candle. This is the fastest emergency candle you can make. If the power goes out right now, you can have light in under 2 minutes. Here is what you need. A stick of butter. That is it. Well, you also need something for a wick. Toilet paper works great. Twist a small piece of toilet paper into a tight string. Cut the butter stick in half. You can leave the paper wrapper on to help it hold its shape. Poke a hole in the center of the butter with a skewer or chopstick. Push your twisted toilet paper wick into the hole. Light the wick. A half stick of butter burns for 1 to 4 hours depending on the wick size. It is not the longest burning candle, but it is the fastest to make. When you need light immediately and have nothing else, butter works. One tip, butter is soft and will melt as it burns. Put it on a plate or in a small dish to catch the melted butter. Otherwise, you will have a mess. You can also use margarine. It works the same way. Any solid fat with a wick becomes a candle. Number 7. Crayon candle. Recipe number 7 is the crayon candle. This one is perfect if you have kids. You probably have a box of crayons somewhere in your house right now. Crayons are made of paraffin wax, the same wax used in regular candles. The paper wrapper acts as a wick, so a crayon is basically already a candle. You just need to light it. Stand a crayon upright. You can use a small piece of aluminum foil shaped into a base to hold it steady. Light the paper wrapper at the top. The paper burns and melts the wax, which feeds the flame. One crayon burns for 15 to 30 minutes. That does not sound like much. But think about it. A standard box has 24 crayons. That is 6 to 12 hours of light from a single box. And crayons are cheap. A few dollars gives you hours of emergency light. Here's a tip. Crayons come in different colors, but they all burn the same. However, darker colors like black and brown produce slightly more soot. Lighter colors burn a bit cleaner. But in an emergency, it does not matter. Use whatever you have. You can also melt crayons and pour them into a container with a proper wick to make a longer-lasting candle. Melt them in a double boiler, pour into a tin can or jar with a wick, and let it solidify. Now you have a candle that burns for hours instead of minutes. Number 8. Orange peel candle. Recipe number 8 is the orange peel candle. This one is clever and uses something most people throw away: the peel of an orange. Here is how it works. Cut an orange in half around the middle. Carefully scoop out the fruit, but leave the center pith intact. That white, stringy thing in the middle that connects to the stem. That pith is your wick. Now pour olive oil or any cooking oil into the orange peel half. Pour it right over the pith so it soaks in. Fill the peel about halfway with oil. Let the pith soak for a few minutes, then light it. The oil-soaked pith burns like a wick, and the oil in the peel is the fuel. An orange peel candle burns for 2 to 8 hours depending on how much oil you add. You can refill it with more oil to extend the burn time. Some people have kept one burning for over 10 hours by topping off the oil. The orange peel also releases a nice citrus scent as it warms, so you get light and a pleasant smell. And the whole thing is made from stuff you would normally throw away. This works with any citrus fruit: lemons, limes, grapefruits. As long as it has that center pith, it works. Number 9. Cooking oil lamp. Recipe number 9 is the cooking oil lamp. This is the most ancient lighting technology humans have ever used. People have been burning oil for light for tens of thousands of years. Here is what you need: any small container, a dish, a jar, a shell, even a hollowed-out rock. You need cooking oil. Olive oil, vegetable oil, canola oil, any cooking oil works. And you need a wick. Cotton string, twisted cotton fabric, or a strip of cotton cloth. The setup is simple. Fill your container with oil. Drape your wick over the edge so one end is in the oil and one end hangs out. Or use a wick holder to keep the wick upright in the oil. Light the exposed end of the wick. The wick absorbs oil through capillary action and feeds it to the flame. As long as there is oil in the container, the flame keeps burning. You can refill the oil indefinitely. A cooking oil lamp can burn continuously as long as you keep adding oil. It is truly unlimited light if you have enough oil. The burn rate is roughly 1 tablespoon of oil per hour. Olive oil burns the cleanest with almost no smoke or smell. Vegetable oil works well too. Used cooking oil from frying works, but produces more smoke and smell. In a survival situation, use whatever oil you have. Number 10. Rice candle. Recipe number 10 is the rice candle. This is a clever variation of the oil lamp that solves one problem: keeping the wick upright. Here's the setup. Take a glass jar, fill it halfway with dry rice. Push a cotton wick down into the center of the rice. The rice holds the wick perfectly upright. Now pour cooking oil into the jar. Pour enough to cover the rice completely. The wick should stick up above the oil level. Light the wick. The rice candle burns exactly like an oil lamp, but the rice keeps everything stable. The wick stays centered. The jar is weighted and will not tip over easily, and the rice does not burn. It just sits there holding the wick in place. A rice candle can burn for 10 days or more if you keep refilling the oil. The rice is reusable. When the oil runs out, add more. The same setup keeps working. This is one of the best long-term emergency lighting solutions. A jar of rice, some cooking oil, and a cotton string gives you potentially weeks of light. Number 11. Cheese wax candle. Recipe number 11 is the cheese wax candle. This is the ultimate waste-to-fuel conversion. You are literally making candles from garbage. Certain cheeses come coated in wax. Babybel cheese has that red wax coating. Gouda often has wax. Some cheddar wheels are waxed. Most people peel off that wax and throw it away. Stop doing that. Save it. Cheese wax is typically a blend of paraffin and microcrystalline wax. It burns just like candle wax. Collect enough of it, and you have free candle fuel. Here is how to use it. You can wrap cheese wax around a twisted piece of newspaper or paper towel to make a quick candle. Just wrap, twist, and light. This burns for 15 to 30 minutes. For a longer burning candle, melt the cheese wax in a double boiler. Pour it into a small container with a proper wick. Let it solidify. Now you have a real candle that burns for hours. The key is collecting enough wax over time. Every time you eat waxed cheese, save the wax. Store it in a bag or jar. When you have enough, make candles. This is true self-sufficiency. You are turning literal garbage into emergency lighting. It costs nothing and works perfectly. So, there you have it. 11 forgotten candle recipes that can save your life when the power goes out. Let me recap. Recipe 1. The classic trench candle burns up to 48 hours using tin cans and cardboard. Recipe 2. The buddy burner is perfect for emergency cooking. Recipe 3. Tallow candles burn 40 to 50 hours and last for years in storage. Recipe 4. Lard candles work just like tallow using pork fat. Recipe 5. Bacon grease candles turn free kitchen waste into light. Recipe 6. Butter candles can be made in under 2 minutes. Recipe 7. Crayon candles give you hours of light from a kid's art supply. Recipe 8. Orange peel candles use garbage for fuel. Recipe 9. Cooking oil lamps provide unlimited light with refills. Recipe 10. Rice candles burn for over 10 days. Recipe 11. Cheese wax candles turn literal trash into emergency light. The total cost for all of these? Nearly zero if you use what you already have. And now you have 11 different ways to create light when the grid goes down. This is knowledge that kept soldiers alive in 2 world wars. Knowledge that is still saving lives today. Knowledge that most people have completely forgotten. But now you have it. The next time the power goes out, you will not be sitting in darkness. You will have options, lots of them. If this video helped you, hit that subscribe button. Click the notification bell so you do not miss our next survival skill, and drop a comment below telling me which recipe you are going to try first. Stay safe, stay prepared, and I will see you in the next one.